Alrighty, good afternoon, evening, morning, wherever you may be at. Got a little bit of progress done. I got the fans installed on this side. They're flush fit, so they don't really stick out too far. Got a bit of a leak since I've actually installed these. Still hasn't dried. And the caulking's not that good. Kinda because I suck at caulking. But they're water sealed, so I'm not worried about water getting in. Pretty much what I did is I cut a square hole in the outside wall. I made some flashing out of some 16 gauge steel and then bent it using my metal brakes and then slotted it in. I did somewhat take a video of me putting this together, but I forgot to record the beginning of me cutting the holes out, and then I forgot to record the end. So I kind of have the middle, but not the beginning or the end, so I don't know if I'll upload it or not. But yeah, I got the fans installed. They're hardwired in to the conduit right here. This is what goes, it provides splitting power to these two lights. So when these lights turn on, the fans turn on. And yeah, I can turn the fans off by doing this, and the lights can still be on. But I cut the tips off, the plugs, and then just hardwired it in. So whenever I flick the lights on, using this switch right here, it turns the fans off. So yeah, that's done. The bench, as you can see, is assembled and not where I was gonna put it. I ran into some issues. I pretty much got the hinges installed, got it mocked up onto the edge right here. This bender's handle was completely in the way and kept smacking it, so I either have to have the bench out and not be able to use this, or use this and have the bench collapsed. So that was an issue. This is 2 inches taller than that, so I was gonna have to build some like blocking or stilts underneath of it. And yeah, I know it came with these little feet right here, but even with these maxed out, it was still too short. So it's a big bummer that I couldn't get that done, but I think I'm gonna prefer it movable. I am gonna put some wheels on it, that way I can roll it around the trailer and whatnot. So if I got cargo back here, I can roll it up, put it over here between the two toolboxes and stow it away, and it's not going to be in the way. But I can move it around if I want to do stuff outside. I can take the table outside with me. If I want to do work in this area, I can roll the table over here, or if I want to do work over there, I can roll it over there. It's just mobile. I think it's going to work a lot better. I'm probably going to install, I might buy another tiny air compressor or use that one and install it underneath that table, because I was doing some cleaning on this steel right here, so I'm going to use this underneath the here to help support this leg. And I was just covering this with rust. So yeah, I need some way of cleaning it. I don't know if I'm going to do that, because I will have an air compressor whole system here that I can pull the line out and spray the top of it off, but I don't know. We'll see. Plans change so often here. This is mounted though. I will install a third leg, like the other two that are under here, because it might be hard to see in the camera, but when I shake this, it moves a lot. So yeah, I'm gonna put a leg underneath it that'll hold the weight. I was hoping I wasn't gonna have to, mainly because it's more work and I was being lazy, but yeah, I'll do it. Hey, I might build all this stuff, but hey, I'm still lazy at heart. That's why I put the fans over here and not over there, because it required changing all this up and everything like that, and I took the lazy route and put it over there. Oh, I was looking for those. Went ahead and installed this fan, or that vent right there. Speaking about laziness, I've owned this vent for 4 years, and I've been meaning to turn it into an exhaust vent, so that way I can put positive pressure into the trailer and then blow out and, you know, anything I don't want to the outside world. Here's what it looks like on the outside. So I've been meaning to install that for 4 years, and I just now installed it. So that's in. You may notice the fan is gone. It's just been put over there. Kept getting tired of hitting my head on it. So I installed it over there. Other things I've installed is the table grinder and the arbor. So one of the reasons why that table also didn't work here is because if I wanted to use the bench grinder or the arbor, I'd have to put those somewhere else because they're right where the table is going to be. So I'd have to like bend over and reach to use it. So yeah, I was tempted of building a shelf right here, and then, you know, a shelf on top of the brake, and then I could mount those guys. That's not an anvil. I forgot the name of that. Vise? Bench vise? Yeah. The metal spinny thingy. Wow, I'm forgetting everything. The arbor and the bench, the two bench grinders up on top of here. It have its own designated area. But I don't have enough angle iron anymore to do that. And if I wanted to do that, I'd have enough angle iron if I cut that out. But something's telling me I need that there. So I don't know yet. I might cut that off and build a table up here and then move the arbor, the bench tops, and everything on top of here. That way, you know, they're more chest level and whatnot, and I can work on stuff like that. But we'll see. I think that's everything I've installed or so far that's, you know, somewhat permanently mounted. I started working on these, the mini lathe, started taking this one apart. I'm gonna tear this whole unit off back here, use this base, you know, base plate, whatever, weld it to the end of this to make it a lot longer. I'm going to combine the two carriages into one carriage. That way I can turn this whole motor assembly into a third axis like a milling machine, and I have a lathe with a large base plate on it to hold material, or to, you know, maybe make this less wiggly. But when I'm using the milling machine, it's, you know, a bigger plate for the milling to, you know, attach materials to. Probably explaining it horrible, but I started working on that. It'll be better once I actually start working on it. Might be wondering what these hockey pucks are for. They're not hockey pucks, they just look like it. They're solid 3-inch round stock that's cut inch in height. This is what I'm going to be using to make the metal brake swivel out, and the bandsaw to swivel as well. So how that's going to work is, you know, this pretty much fits the inner diameter of this, and, you know, you can spin it, spin. But yeah, that's pretty much the gist. This here, this is for the metal brake. This goes right there, and this is what's going to create the leg for the metal brake. Hockey puck will get welded up there, hockey puck will get welded down there, and then these two guys right here are going to get welded, one on the top and one on the inside right here. That way I can replicate the legs, so that way when I start wrenching on this, it's not trying to focus all that twisting torque into a little 1-inch area. It's, you know, dispersing it over a larger area. So that torquing should allow torquing should allow me to use that brake without worried about it moving all over the place and whatnot. This 1/4-inch plate, I will cut a section out to replicate this and then that's what's going to get bolted to that, and then this 1/4" plate will get welded to that, and then it should just be gravity set in. There's not going to be any bolts because I think it's going to be too heavy to pop up out of the hole, I guess. I don't know. Doing a horrible job of explaining that. The bandsaw is going to replicate kind of the same thing. However, I'm going to cut a plate out of this 1/4" steel that matches the same square footage of this. So the base, mark it out onto that, cut it out, then bolt this to the plate. The plate is going to get welded to another hockey puck, and then this will get welded to the top of that. So I will have to make a leg. I'm going to see if I can recycle the other leg from the metal brake, because there's 2 legs with this thing. I want to see if I can recycle this one and use it for that. I'm going to have to obviously cut it down, because this is 24 inches and that, I can't remember. I think it's 17 or 16. I don't know. But yeah, that's what I've been working on. Getting a little bit of progress done. Yeah, I think that's it.